You know that sound, folks. You bet. That's another Noon Whistle on a special edition on a Friday. My name's Chris Trottier.
And I'm John Anzelo, and we have a special guest. Governor Evers is here with us. Welcome, Governor.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Chris. It's great to be with you. What an honor for me to be here today. Highlight of my week.
All right, the honor is all ours, but we'll take it. Hey, kind of to kick off, we wanted to ask you, before you were governor, you were a teacher and a school administrator, and brought you into education early on.
Well, it's interesting. My family, my father, mother, and extended family too, primarily in the healthcare world, and I learned from them, frankly, the importance of making sure that our systems and our the people that you work with are in a good place, and education certainly is a key issue. They valued education. My brothers before me, they didn't go into education, but education-related fields, and so I felt it was the right thing to do, and love being around kids and making sure that they're getting the best they could. So it was an easy transition from Plymouth High School to University of Wisconsin, and then after that to become a teacher and administrator, and now I'm still trying to be a teacher.
Always educating, right?
Nice.
You never turn that off.
Always educating.
Yeah, started off in Toma.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Toma. Actually, I began in Baraboo for a year, and then went to Toma, and after that was at Oakfield, and then Verona, and CISA 6, and now as then state superintendent, and then governor. So been a good run, and enjoy my present job. I enjoyed everything I've done, and it's clearly my role as governor. I take my cue from educators still. I mean, we have to have a good and great public school system, or we fail as a state.
I'm sure that when you were sitting in your desk at Toma as a principal, you didn't say, "Boy, when I'm governor someday, I'm gonna."
No, that was never on my mind. In fact, it wasn't on my mind until I was well into my state superintendent years, and I felt that there was probably some better things I could do to help our public school systems, and that's why I ran. But as president, actually, I will tell you, I love what I'm doing now. I really love being a high school principal. That was a treat. I mean, there were kids you work with that obviously were just going to be hugely successful in life, and kids that needed some assistance, and frankly, I loved working with those kids the most. I Smoker's Corner, there used to be one of those outside of Toma High School, and I'd hang out there at noontime, find out what's going on in the school, but also hopefully imparting some level of wit and wisdom to those kids too.
So you weren't, you left education, but then continued that experience as the state superintendent. So when you look back on that experience, what were some of your greatest celebrations, greatest successes?
Yeah.
So what were a couple of those?
Yeah, and I would say two things. One thing I think we did was really raise the importance of teaching as a profession, and really recognizing good teachers, either in their content area or elementary teachers. It doesn't make any difference. We tried to raise because Act 10 really did take things into a different, whether people were for it or against us, it's irrelevant in some respects, and that is it was difficult for teachers. It put them in a little different light, and so I feel we were able to turn that around and recognize good teaching and exemplary teachers. And also, and something, frankly, that you all do at Elkhorn, that I worked hard with the University of Wisconsin system and the technical college system to make sure that, dual enrollment things happen, that credit got, where kids at the high school level were able to get credit. Well, they're obviously getting high school credit, but post-secondary credit too. And what it did, I mean, first of all, it was a lot of mechanics because every system has their way of doing things. But at the end of the day, what it did is it made more seamless the entire K through 20 experience in Wisconsin, and it helped out kids. Helped out kids in our K through 12 world, and so I think both of those things, kind of raising the teacher's profile in a positive way, I think was important, as well as kind of bringing in. That happened, a lot of it, because I sat on the Tech College Systems Board, and I was also the Board of Regents as a state superintendent. So I could advocate for those, for those systems at the same time, and kind of the quid pro quo on that was, let's see what we can do together. And there are great school districts like Elkhorn that took advantage of that in a significant way. And it's just better for kids, better for parents. They can kind of see where their kids are headed, maybe in a little more robust way than they have in the past.
Yeah, I think we have a great relationship with our local tech school, Brian Albrecht, and now Dr. Raju, who's taken over, and our superintendent Jason Tadlock sits on their board, and it's really created a bunch of opportunities for our kids. It's really kind of changed how we look through career pathways, but most importantly, it's opportunity and access for kids, and it's saving parents dollars, real money. So
absolutely not. The tech colleges are so, especially Gateway, the tech colleges are so successful on that they're losing a fair amount of tuition money, and so they're looking to the state to help them out with that. And I'm okay with that. I mean, whatever we can do to make those barriers, or those lines of demarcation among and between the systems, the better we are.
Governor, what do you see as the top skills that our graduates need in order to compete in the current economy? Or
that's a great question, and I'll answer it in two ways. One is, we really do have to pay attention to our kids' affective domain of things. We've seen the data, and it's not all because of the pandemic. It's been kind of working in a different way, in a bad way, over the last 20 years, I would say. So there's a lot of kids suffering mentally and emotionally, and those are skills that we can talk about and teach also. Becoming more resilient, more empathy, that sort of thing. That's a basic. But in addition to that, I just think and I don't want to get too wonky here, because I sound like a wonky person too much already. But the idea of computer science and what that means for our kids as they move into the post-secondary and the workforce after that. The whole skill set that's involved with computer science and technology is so very important. And I don't care if you're going to become an English teacher or you're going to become the next scientist to discover something, whether it's technology related or not. But those skills that you learn in computer science, and the technology skills that you learn in, frankly, other classes also carry a lot of weight going forward. And that's where a lot of the jobs will be. Are there going to be construction jobs needed? Yes. We need people in public safety? Yes. Do we need people to work in our correctional institutions? Yes. But kind of core to all that work nowadays is technology related. I was in an aluminum factory just yesterday, as a matter of fact, and the technology skills that those workers need in order to create amazing things in this foundry are high. And so those are two things. I don't want us to kind of forget about the affective domain, because that's critical for people to be successful adults and successful human beings. But some of those technology skills, no matter what area they're going into, it's going to be impacting them.
Yeah, who thought years ago that typing would have been so important, right?
Right. No kidding. Yeah. Yes.
Well, yeah, when you talk about those computer science skills, a little plug for ElkWorks School District. We've been a project lead to a computer science district, district of distinction, and we try and embed those skills K-12. And when you walk on a manufacturing floor, and Walworth County is full of great partners in Precision Plus and a variety of them, you know, those manufacturing jobs require automation and computer science skills, so, and coding. So
yeah. And all those construction jobs too now are, you know, they have some relationship to it's not just about pounding nails anymore. And,
no.
And having those skills, having that kind of basic technology, and that's why, frankly, it's so important. And I don't think Elkhorn is a huge problem around this, but around the state, we're trying to spend as much money as we can on getting broadband to be uniform and affordable across the state of Wisconsin, because that enhances people's learning in addition to doing it at school, doing things at home. I mean, obviously, even with during the pandemic, we learned how important those technology, making sure that we are able to access the technology.
Well, we know you got a big meeting at 12:15, so we don't want to keep you from it. Not that it's definitely not more important than the noon whistle, but I'm sure it's got some bigger impact, if that's even possible. But Governor Evers, we appreciate you being here, and we always want to close with a thank you. So, you got a shout out or thank you to end your time here on the noon whistle?
Yeah, well, I got a shout out for teachers across the state of Wisconsin. They work, you know, obviously this is a political time for teachers, but they are under such pressure. They're doing the best job possible under the circumstances, whether it's Elkhorn or whether it's any others of the 400 plus school districts in the state. So shout out for those teachers. We respect you, and you're doing a great job, and keep on doing the things you're doing in Elkhorn. So thank you.
John, who do you got?
Who do I got today? Well, first, thank you, Governor Evers, for being here and taking the time with us. And then my shout out is to Katie Hoffman, who works in the office here and worked closely with Chris and I and does some of our wonderful graphics and so many other things. So thank you, Katie, for all you do.
And I'm going to give a shout out just because I'm sure there's plenty of people watching asking the question, should we have closed school? So a little shout out to all the superintendents who are making those tough decisions and waking up really early, and a special shout out to our superintendent, Mr. Jason Tedlock, for being on the road in his Jeep at about 3:30 a.m. So thank you, Governor Evers. We appreciate you being here, and
have a great weekend.
Thanks, Governor Evers. Take care.
Thank you.